The night sky was quiet, almost peaceful, as if the universe was holding its breath deep in a remote space observatory. Dr. Elena Carter stared at the flickering screen, her heart racing. Something unusual had appeared in the readings, a signal unlike anything humans had ever received before. It was faint, distant, but it carried a pattern, a rhythm, an intelligence. "Commander, you need to see this," she called over the radio, her voice trembling with excitement. Lieutenant Mark Harris, the young officer in charge of Earth space surveillance, rushed over, his eyes widening as he saw the strange waves on the screen. This isn't natural," he whispered. The message kept repeating, a strange, almost musical frequency that seemed to come from the far edges of the galaxy. No one could decode it, yet everyone in the room felt its power. It was a call, a summons from the stars, and deep inside, they all knew it was meant for humanity. In the days that followed, Earth's governments and scientists debated whether to respond. Some feared it could be a trap, a warning from a powerful alien race, while others argued it was a chance for first contact, a chance to understand the mysteries of the universe. The debate grew heated, the world divided. Meanwhile, small, unmanned ships were sent to trace the signal, moving farther and farther into space. But one by one, they disappeared without a trace. Satellites went offline, communications failed, the signal seemed to pull everything toward its origin, and panic began to rise. People whispered about the unknown, calling it the alien call. In the midst of the confusion, the world turned to the Deathworlder Defense Force, the elite team of soldiers, pilots, and scientists trained to face threats from beyond. Commander Jason Riker was called to lead the operation, a man known for his courage, quick thinking, and ability to remain calm under pressure. He studied the data and made his first decision. "We need to prepare," he said firmly, his voice steady, yet carrying the weight of fear. Elena and her team worked around the clock, trying to understand the signal. Searching for clues hidden in the frequency, they discovered subtle patterns, almost like a code, hints of movement, of strategy, and warnings. The aliens were not only communicating, they were planning. Suddenly, reports came in from deep space, faint blips on the radar, enormous shapes moving at incredible speeds. The first alien ships had been detected. They were massive, far larger than anything humans had ever built. Their surfaces shimmered with strange energy, and their shapes were unlike anything described in books or imagination. Commander Riker called for an emergency meeting. Earth's top leaders gathered in the control room, tension thick in the air. "We are looking at a fleet," Riker explained, pointing at the holographic display. "They are coming, and they are powerful. We must act now before it's too late." Meanwhile, among ordinary citizens, rumors spread like wildfire. Some believed the aliens were here to destroy. Others hoped for peace. Conspiracy theories and fear filled the media. The world watched anxiously, as if holding its breath, waiting for the first signs of contact. In the early hours of the next day, a small reconnaissance ship approached the alien fleet, its cameras and sensors trying to capture any information. But the alien ships did not attack. They simply observed, silent and imposing. And then, without warning, the human ship was pulled into a field of energy, vanishing in an instant, leaving only static behind. Back on Earth, the room fell silent. No one spoke. The enormity of the situation hit everyone at once. Humanity had never faced something like this. They were not only up against advanced technology, but an intelligence that seemed to be many steps ahead. Elena whispered to herself, "They're calling us, but why?" Her voice barely audible, as if speaking too loud might attract attention from the aliens. Commander Riker knew that this was just the beginning, the calm before a storm, the first move in a game humans were barely beginning to understand. And then, from the observatories around the world, a shimmering light appeared in the sky. Vast ships moving through the atmosphere, casting enormous shadows over the land. The people on Earth looked up in fear and awe. The first contact was no longer a distant possibility. It had arrived. The aliens did not speak. They did not negotiate. They simply hovered, their presence overwhelming. The signal continued to pulse through space, a silent message to humanity. The world waited, hearts pounding, knowing that whatever came next could change the course of history forever. Commander Riker clenched his fists, his mind racing with strategies. The Deathworlders would fight, but this was unlike any enemy they had faced before, and Elena, staring at the screens once more, realized the truth. The signal was more than a call. It was a challenge, a test, and humanity had no choice but to respond. The countdown to the unknown had begun, and the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. The world was no longer the same. The shimmering alien ships hovered above Earth, silent but commanding. Cities went dark as governments scrambled to mobilize. Emergency alerts flashed across every screen, and ordinary people watched in fear. Commander Jason Riker stood on the bridge of the Deathworlder command ship, his eyes fixed on the massive holographic display, showing the alien fleet in all its terrifying glory. "They are testing us," he said to Lieutenant Harris, his voice calm but firm, "and we cannot fail." The Deathworlders were the best humanity had, soldiers trained for battles no human had ever imagined, pilots who could maneuver in space like dancers, scientists who could turn ideas into weapons, and engineers who could rebuild anything in record time. Yet even they were shaken by the sheer size and power of the alien fleet. Meanwhile, Dr. Elena Carter worked tirelessly, analyzing the alien signal, her fingers flying over the keyboard, patterns emerging from the noise. She discovered something alarming. The aliens were not random. Their fleet moved with perfect coordination, as if a single mind controlled them all, every ship anticipating every move, and that mind seemed far older and smarter than any human. Riker called a global broadcast, addressing humanity directly, his voice carrying hope and determination. "People of Earth, we face a challenge unlike any before, but we are not helpless. The Deathworlders will protect this planet, and we need everyone ready to do their part." His words stirred courage, but also fear. The knowledge of what was coming weighed heavily on every heart. As Earth's military forces scrambled, small skirmishes began at the edges of the solar system. Unmanned probes and scout ships tried to engage the alien fleet, but every time humans approached, the aliens responded with precise energy bursts, destroying ships without warning, leaving only silence and floating wreckage. The fear of the unknown was terrifying. In a hidden laboratory, Elena discovered a clue that gave her hope. Subtle irregularities in the alien signal hinted at a weakness, a pattern that might be exploited. She shared it with Riker, who immediately began planning a strategy. "If we can strike at this point, we might gain the upper hand," he said, determination flashing in his eyes. "But it will be risky." Meanwhile, civilians began to prepare. Communities organized underground shelters. Families clung to hope, and some tried to flee. Yet the alien ships moved with uncanny speed, watching, waiting, and humanity realized escape was not an option. They had to fight. Suddenly, sensors detected a massive movement. The alien fleet began to reposition, forming strange geometric shapes in orbit. It was more than strategy. It was a display, a message, an assertion of dominance. Fear gripped even the bravest soldiers. Yet somewhere beneath it, a spark of defiance began to grow. Commander Riker gathered his team, a mix of seasoned officers and young recruits. "This is the moment that will define humanity," he said, his voice steady. "We may be outnumbered, but we are not outsmarted. Every choice, every action counts, and we will fight with everything we have." His words ignited resolve in their hearts. Elena, staring at the alien ships from the observatory, whispered to herself, "They are not just attacking, they are learning, observing, preparing for something greater." Her mind raced, trying to predict the aliens' next move. Every second mattered, and the line between victory and annihilation seemed thinner than ever. As night fell across Earth, the first human fleets began to launch, massive ships taking to orbit, ready to defend their planet. The stars themselves seemed to tremble under the weight of the approaching storm. Every human knew the coming battle would test courage, intelligence, and spirit in ways never imagined. The countdown to confrontation had begun, and humanity held its breath, knowing that the universe was watching and that the coming hours could decide the fate of every living being on Earth. The silence of space was broken by the hum of human engines. As the Deathworlder fleet moved toward the alien ships, The crew on every vessel felt the weight of history pressing down on them. Every eye stared at the massive shapes floating ahead, their surfaces glowing with strange energy. Commander Jason Riker stood on the bridge of the flagship, his hands gripping the railing, his jaw tight. "Stay alert. Every move counts," he ordered. The young pilots and officers nodded, their hearts pounding, knowing that any mistake could mean instant destruction. The first scouts approached cautiously, small vessels designed to observe and test the aliens, their cameras capturing unimaginable sights, alien ships of every shape and size, shimmering with energy, rotating slowly as if studying the humans, sending silent warnings that made the hairs on every human arm stand on end. Lieutenant Harris reported, "Commander, they are moving in formation, patterns I have never seen. They are anticipating us." His voice was tight with tension. Riker nodded. "Then we adapt. We learn faster than they expect," he replied, determination burning in his eyes. Suddenly, a pulse of energy shot toward the lead scout, knocking it violently off course. Alarms blared, and the ship's systems flickered. Crew members struggled to regain control, and before anyone could react, the ship vanished, swallowed by the alien power field, leaving only static behind. A collective shiver went through the human fleet. Fear mingled with adrenaline. No one had expected such immediate force. Yet Riker refused to show doubt. "This is just the beginning. Keep moving forward," he said, pushing every ship to maintain formation. Elena monitored the alien signals from the observatory ship, her mind racing. "They're communicating with each other faster than we can process. It's like they share a single mind," she whispered. The team around her nodded, realizing the enormity of the challenge. Then, without warning, the alien fleet began to split, surrounding the human vessels from multiple directions. Energy beams flared across space, narrowly missing ships, shields flickering under the immense power. Explosions rocked the edges of the fleet, and panic threatened to spread. Commander Riker made a bold decision. Divert half the fleet to flank them, draw them out, focus on their weak points. His voice steady. Even as alarms screamed, pilots obeyed instantly, moving with precision and skill, showing why humans had survived countless battles. A small squadron of human fighters engaged, darting between alien vessels, firing carefully targeted blasts. For the first time, a few ships were disabled, sending sparks and debris floating into the void. A small victory, but one that came at a cost, as more humans were lost than anyone could count. Elena shouted, "Commander, I think I found a pattern in their attack, a rhythm. If we can predict it, we might survive the next wave." Riker nodded, adjusting maneuvers, every move precise, the fleet dancing a dangerous ballet in the darkness of space. Suddenly, a massive alien ship detached from the formation, moving directly toward the human command vessel, energy beams flaring around it. The crew held their breath, knowing this could be the end. Riker's voice cut through the tension. "Brace for impact and fight with everything we have." As the alien ship approached, the Deathworlder fleet unleashed a coordinated barrage. Explosions lit the void like stars burning. Ships maneuvered in perfect synchrony, and for the first time, the humans felt a spark of hope, a sense that victory might be possible. But deep in the shadows of space, more alien vessels appeared, larger and faster, their intentions unknown, their power overwhelming, and the fleet realized the fight was far from over. The real challenge had only just begun. Humanity's first encounter with the alien fleet had ended. But the lessons learned were clear. Courage alone would not save them. Only intelligence, unity, and the will to survive would carry them through, and the countdown to the next phase had already begun. The void of space seemed alive with tension as the Deathworlder fleet regrouped. The first encounter had shaken them. It had also taught them valuable lessons. Commander Jason Riker stood on the bridge of the flagship, his eyes scanning the alien formations, calculating every possibility. "Listen carefully," Riker said to his officers, his voice low but commanding. "They expect us to panic, to react, but we will take control. We will strike where they are weakest, and we will show them humanity does not back down." The crew nodded, determination igniting in their hearts. Meanwhile, Dr. Elena Carter analyzed the alien signals, searching for patterns in their attacks. "Commander, I think I found a weakness," she said, pointing at the data. "They have a central energy network controlling the fleet. If we target it, we can disrupt their coordination." Riker's eyes narrowed. The plan was risky, but it was their best chance. The Deathworlders worked tirelessly, preparing their fleet for a counterattack. Engineers adjusted weapons. Pilots trained for precise maneuvers, and scientists like Elena coordinated strategies that pushed human technology to its limits. For the first time, a glimmer of hope spread across the fleet. As they approached the alien fleet again, a sense of unease gripped the crew. The aliens moved with an intelligence that seemed almost alive, yet humans had learned, adapted, and now they would take the first bold step. Small squadrons moved ahead, drawing the aliens into a trap. Energy beams flared across space, warning the humans of the aliens' power, but Riker remained calm, directing every ship with precision. "Stay focused, strike as one, and never falter," he commanded. The fleet responded with perfect coordination, a dance of courage and strategy against overwhelming odds. The first wave of human attacks struck the alien flanks, targeted missiles and energy pulses exploding against the massive ships. For the first time, humans saw damage on the alien hulls. Sparks and debris scattered into the void, and morale soared across the fleet. But the aliens were quick to adapt, shifting formations, unleashing powerful energy surges that destroyed human vessels in moments. Fear threatened to take hold again. Yet Riker pushed forward, rallying his people. "We fight not because we must, but because we refuse to fail." His words carried weight, inspiring every soldier and pilot. Elena shouted from her console, "Commander, the pattern is repeating. I can predict their next move. If we act now, we can hit the energy network directly." Riker nodded, ordering the fleet to concentrate fire on the largest alien vessel, a massive ship that pulsed with blinding light. Explosions rocked the void as the human fleet unleashed their most powerful weapons, beams of energy striking the alien ship in perfect timing. For a moment, everything seemed to hang, the silence of space broken only by the distant sounds of destruction. And then, a massive shockwave rippled outward, sending alien vessels spinning, shields faltering, systems failing. Victory was not complete, but it was enough. The Deathworlders had struck a serious blow, showing that humanity could fight, adapt, and survive against an enemy that seemed unstoppable. Yet Riker knew the battle was far from over. The aliens would return stronger, smarter, and deadlier. As the fleet regrouped, the crew shared glances filled with relief and determination. They had won a battle, but the war was just beginning. Elena studied the alien data, her mind racing with possibilities, knowing that humanity's survival depended on their ability to anticipate the next move. And somewhere in the darkness of space, the aliens observed, their plans shifting, their intelligence growing with each human maneuver. The stage was set for an even greater confrontation, and the stars themselves seemed to wait for the next chapter of this deadly dance. Humanity had struck back, but the universe reminded them that courage alone would not be enough. Strategy, unity, and the relentless spirit of the Deathworlders would be tested in ways no human could imagine. The Deathworlder fleet floated in the darkness, the first victory over the alien Armada still fresh. Yet unease hung heavier than ever. Commander Jason Riker stared at the holographic maps, analyzing every move the aliens had made. "They are learning faster than we imagined," he muttered, "and they are not done." Dr. Elena Carter worked frantically at her console, eyes scanning streams of data. Suddenly, her hands froze. "Commander, I see something," she said, pointing at the readings. "The aliens have a hidden weapon, a weapon that could destroy entire cities on Earth from space." Her voice trembled. The crew leaned in, horror spreading across the room. Riker's face tightened. "How long until they can use it?" he asked, his mind racing for strategies. Elena shook her head. "Soon, and it will be devastating if we don't act." Fear mixed with determination. The stakes had grown higher than ever before. Meanwhile, the aliens moved in patterns that hinted at something sinister. Strange energy pulses rippled through space, a prelude to destruction. Riker ordered the fleet to reposition. "We must protect Earth at all costs," he said. The pilots responded instantly, maneuvering with precision, each second critical. Elena found a clue, a subtle irregularity in the alien signals. "Commander, there is a weakness," she whispered, excitement and fear mingling in her voice. "Their secret weapon is connected to a control network. If we can disrupt it, we can stop the attack before it begins." Riker's eyes narrowed. The plan was dangerous, but it was their only chance. Small squads of human fighters raced toward the alien formations, energy shields glowing, weapons ready. They darted between massive alien ships, dodging energy beams, every maneuver a test of courage and skill. The first group reached the core of the alien formation, launching precise strikes at the suspected control points. Explosions rocked the alien fleet, sending sparks and fragments floating into the void, but the aliens adapted immediately, releasing faster, deadlier counterattacks. Human pilots struggled to stay alive. Some vessels were destroyed, yet others pressed forward, their determination unbroken. Riker made a bold decision. "We split the fleet. Half will continue the attack. Half will defend Earth directly. We cannot fail." His voice echoed through the command center. Young officers nodded, understanding the gravity of the moment. Suddenly, the alien weapon activated. Beams of energy shot toward Earth. Cities across the planet began to tremble. Alarms blared. The Deathworlders knew the planet itself was at stake. Riker's heart pounded. "Elena, now. Do it now," he shouted. Elena's fingers flew over the controls, sending a targeted pulse toward the alien network. Energy flares erupted in space. The alien beams wavered, faltered, and then collapsed. For the first time, humanity had disrupted the alien weapon, showing that even the most advanced intelligence could be challenged. The fleet regrouped, breathing heavily, relief mingling with the ever-present fear. Yet Riker knew this was only a temporary victory. The aliens had shown their true strength, and the humans had glimpsed their potential. The battle was far from over. As Earth's skies darkened with alien ships, Riker looked at his crew, pride and resolve in his eyes. "We have survived today, but tomorrow will test us again. Humanity cannot afford to rest. We must be stronger, faster, smarter." The words echoed in the minds of every soldier and pilot. And somewhere in the distance, the alien fleet observed silently, their intelligence growing, their plans evolving. A new threat was already forming, one that would push the Deathworlders and all of humanity to the very edge of survival. The war was far from over. The stakes had never been higher, and the next move would decide the fate of Earth itself. The void of space was filled with fire and tension. The Deathworlder fleet faced the full might of the alien Armada. Commander Jason Riker stood on the bridge, his eyes scanning the massive enemy ships. Every heartbeat matched the pulse of incoming energy beams. "This is it," he whispered, "the moment humanity proves itself." The alien fleet advanced in perfect formation, their massive ships bristling with weapons, energy shields glowing like distant suns. The humans braced for the first full-scale engagement. Small fighter squads darted between alien vessels, dodging beams and flares, their movements precise and deadly. "Commander, they're concentrating fire on the forward fleet," Lieutenant Harris shouted, alarms ringing across the bridge. Riker's jaw tightened. "Hold formation. We will not break. Fire where you can. Every shot counts," he commanded, his voice steady, inspiring courage in every pilot and soldier. Dr. Elena Carter monitored the alien network from her console, analyzing the patterns of their attacks. "Their coordination is incredible," she said, tension in her voice. "But I can predict their next move. Aim at the energy nodes I've identified. It might disrupt their control." Riker nodded, issuing orders at lightning speed. The fleet adjusted, a ballet of war in the darkness. The first volleys of human weapons struck. Explosions erupted across alien ships, sparks and debris scattering into the void. For the first time, the aliens hesitated, a small victory that ignited hope in the hearts of the Deathworlders. Yet they knew this was only the beginning. Suddenly, a massive alien ship detached from the main fleet, moving directly toward Riker's flagship. Energy beams crackling across space. The crew held their breath, Knowing this could destroy them in moments, Riker barked orders. Divert all firepower, shield the command vessel, and prepare for impact. The fleet obeyed, massive explosions rocking the void. The alien ship faltered under concentrated fire, yet it refused to retreat. Riker felt the pressure mounting, every second a battle between life and annihilation. Elena shouted, "Commander, I can send a targeted pulse through their network. It will overload the control systems, but could destroy our own communications too." Riker made the split-second decision. "Do it. We have no choice." Her fingers flew over the console, sending a surge of energy toward the alien command nodes. Energy flares erupted across the fleet, beams of light dancing in every direction. Alien ships wavered, shields flickering, systems failing. Humans pressed forward with courage and precision, the tide of battle shifting in ways no one had expected. Even as explosions lit the void, heroism shone brightly. Young pilots performed daring maneuvers, risking their lives to protect others. Soldiers coordinated flawless attacks. Engineers repaired critical systems under fire, and Elena guided them with unmatched focus. Every human action mattered. Finally, the alien fleet faltered, the massive control network disrupted. Alien ships spun out of formation, energy shields failing. For the first time, humanity had gained the upper hand. The Deathworlders pushed forward, striking decisively, their courage and intelligence overcoming the seemingly unstoppable enemy. But even in victory, Riker knew the battle was not over. The aliens had retreated, but hints of their intelligence remained. Watching, learning, waiting for the next confrontation. Humanity had survived, but the universe had reminded them that vigilance, strategy, and unity would always be necessary. As the fleet regrouped, Riker addressed his exhausted crew. "We have survived, but this is only the beginning. Humanity has shown it can fight, and fight well. We must prepare for the challenges ahead." Elena nodded, staring at the remnants of the alien armada, realizing the war was far from finished. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. The first clash over, the ultimate confrontation had ended, but the battle for survival, for the future of Earth, and for the spirit of humanity was only beginning. The void of space was quieter now. The alien armada had retreated beyond the edge of the solar system, but the tension remained. Commander Jason Riker stood on the bridge of the flagship, his eyes scanning the stars. Every flicker of light a possible threat. Yet his heart held pride. Humanity had survived. Dr. Elena Carter continued her analysis of the alien data, her fingers flying over the console. Patterns emerged from the chaos. Hidden weaknesses, insights into the alien strategies. Humanity had learned more in these battles than they could have imagined, and this knowledge could change the future forever. The Deathworlder fleet regrouped, damaged ships repaired, pilots resting only briefly before training again, soldiers sharing stories of heroism, of bravery and sacrifice, young recruits inspired by the courage of veterans, every member knowing they had been part of something larger than themselves. Riker addressed his crew. "Today we have survived, we have fought, and we have proven that humanity cannot be conquered easily. The universe is vast, filled with dangers, but we have shown that courage, intelligence, and unity can overcome even the greatest threats." His voice echoed through the ship, carrying both relief and resolve. Yet even in celebration, Elena noticed something troubling. Subtle changes in the alien signal, small pulses that hinted at intelligence still observing, still calculating. The aliens had retreated, but they were far from defeated. They were learning, adapting, and would return stronger than before. "Commander, they are not gone," she said quietly, pointing at the readings. "They are watching, waiting for the next opportunity. Humanity cannot rest." Riker nodded. Understanding the truth, vigilance would be the price of survival, and preparation the key to future victories. On Earth, people looked to the skies with hope and fear, cities recovering from the threat, families reuniting, children asking questions about the stars. And for the first time, many realized that humanity was no longer a small, fragile species confined to one planet. They had touched the cosmos, fought in it, and survived. Riker walked among his crew, offering words of encouragement and gratitude. Every one of you has been part of this victory. But remember, the universe is wide, and the challenges ahead will demand everything from us. We must stay strong, united, and ready. The crew nodded, their spirits lifted yet grounded by the reality of future dangers. Meanwhile, Elena made a final observation. We have learned their weaknesses, their strategies, and how to counter them. But the question is, will humanity be ready the next time they return? Her voice carried both hope and warning. The stars themselves seemed to whisper in agreement. Suddenly, a distant flicker appeared on the sensors, almost imperceptible. But it was there, a reminder that the universe was alive with intelligence. The aliens were not gone, only delayed, and humanity would need every ounce of courage, strategy, and ingenuity to face them again. Riker stood on the observation deck, staring at the stars, the weight of responsibility heavy on his shoulders, yet pride and hope burning in his heart. Humanity has survived this time, he said softly, and we will continue to survive, to fight, and to thrive, no matter what comes. As the fleet and Earth began the long process of recovery and preparation, the stars shimmered with possibilities, mysteries yet to uncover, threats yet to face, and adventures beyond imagination. Humanity had proven itself worthy of the cosmos, resilient and unyielding. The universe waited silently, watching, and humanity, stronger than ever, was ready to meet whatever challenge came next. The battle had ended, but the story of survival, courage, and exploration was only beginning, and the spirit of the Deathworlders burned brighter than any star.